Hi, I'm Leonard Chan. Welcome to another episode of Chandemic. There are a lot of problems going on in the world right now that I don't have the experience, the education, or even the right to talk about, but there's one thing I know a lot about. Privilege. Privilege is not exclusively white. I mean, hello. Asian privilege is real. In some ways, it's better than white privilege. We get most of the same stuff white people get, but everybody assumes we worked hard for it. Not all Asians have privilege, but as a straight, male, East Asian who was born into the middle class, I definitely have it. I'm currently filming this from a basement. And when a comedian is in basement, usually that's because it's their entire home. This is just 1/5 of my home that I own in Toronto. Privilege. I was fortunate enough to be born into the right body in the right place in the right time in history so that my work could actually translate into success. If I was born to an Asian body in America 100 years ago, I wouldn't be here right now. I would be
working on the railroad.
But there are others who are less fortunate, who are born into a life where they have to work just as hard, if not harder, to try to get to the same place. And even if they manage to get there, they can just have it taken away from them. For some people with privilege, acknowledging that other people don't have it feels like diminishing their own accomplishments. That's why there are so many people who refuse to acknowledge that privilege even exists. To acknowledge that it exists would shatter the worldview they've built up that they accomplished everything on their own. That everyone else had the same opportunities they did, but through some sort of personal exceptionalism, they triumphed. That's dumb. Privilege is real. Privilege is how some people can be accused of ruining neighborhoods by other people who ruin continents. Obviously, as a visible minority, I've experienced racism, but it's been the fun racism that I can joke about at cocktail parties. Like how on my first day of work as an engineering sales manager, the guy who runs the warehouse called me into his office so I could fix his computer, because he assumed I worked in IT. Fun! But I got a laugh out of it, and the satisfaction of fixing a computer. Racism sucks, but I'd rather be constantly confused with this guy, we look nothing alike, than to be unfairly misidentified as a criminal. Look, I'm not where I am today because I worked hard or because I'm smarter than anybody else. And I'm certainly not where I am today because Asians work hard or are smarter than anyone else. No, I am where I am today because I am privileged to not be seen by the people in power as having the wrong skin color, being in the wrong class, to having the wrong gender or sexuality, or any number of things that makes life harder when it shouldn't. I am where I am today because the people in power allow it. Asians are model minorities. We're taught to keep our heads down, work hard, stay quiet. Asians are very quiet. When we quietly whisper racist things behind other minorities' backs, when we quietly ignore violence perpetrated against other minorities, and when we quietly colonize Africa. Because we are quiet, we are allowed to succeed. And we're quiet because we've seen what happens to those who aren't. We can't be quiet anymore. We have to address the racism within our own communities. We have to divorce all the racists. And we have to do the right thing and speak up because to be silent is to be complicit. Man, his parents must be disappointed in him. Look, we've been fighting the same battles, but it's time for Asians to join the war. Which is just a figure of speech. I did not just call for a race war. Oh my god, I'm cancelled. Oh, crap, do I have to buy a gun? My point is, Asian privilege is real. And if you're one of the lucky Asians who has it like I do, we have to acknowledge that we have it. Because if we don't, we're just part of the problem.